up, everybody? This is Chris for Slims Presents, and I'm here with Keno Mapp. How you doing, man?
Fine. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good.
We're glad to have you here. You're going to be playing at the music hall pretty soon, right?
Yeah.
With RonKat, Spearman. Who else is on that bill?
P-Funk, RonKat, a band called Pain, the Brown Fellinis, and my band Heart Touch.
Nice. And it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, it's going to be fire. We're excited. That's like bringing a little psychedelic jazz, metal, rock, and funk in one house. It's going to be, a little bit of fire going on.
Nice. And I know you have a very theatrical stage presence. You going to have anything else going on performance-wise?
You know what? I'm not sure yet. Maybe Vaudeville Society will come down and join us, and they can get a little crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like on this one, I think we're all sort of really focused on the music.
Okay.
So we want to just definitely give everybody a musical high. You know,
Nice.
That's going to be the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about how you got started in music, your early roots. Did you come from a musical family?
Yeah. Total musical family. Opera is where I come from. My grandma, she was with the London Symphony for 5 years, and my great-grandma is opera as well. And I have 8 aunts. My grandma had 9 girls.
Okay.
So I'm surrounded around women.
Well, that's not too bad.
Not bad at all. And they're all gospel. So it took them a little while to digest me rocking out. But they're like, okay, they like it now.
Well, how did you discover rocking out? What was it that sprung you into that mentality?
And I was living in Berlin, Germany. Before I was with the reggae band, I was with the R&B band, gospel choir, and I moved to Berlin. I was in Berlin for 3 years. And one of the guys that lived in my building, he just came and invited me to the studio one night. He said, hey, we get together every Friday and rock out, and it's total free for all. There's not any rehearsal, and we don't know who's coming. And so he invited me, so I went over into the studio in underground of Berlin, and it was like the Doors, man. It was so hot. And so we would be in there for maybe 4 hours every Friday night, and I would make up maybe 8 songs in that 4-hour time. And you didn't know who was coming, you didn't know what they were playing. But inside of Berlin, they have this way of playing rock music. They have, they're still they have that dated music, old classical rock feeling still.
Okay.
So some of the sounds they were playing, I'm like, dude, that's so hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started rocking out, and it just felt a lot more freer, and I just kept it out. Coming back here, everyone wanted me to do Usher, be the R&B guy. I'm like,
yeah.
Like I did that. I'm like, I'm doing this now. I want to rock out,
Well, what's it like doing music that is very much your own in a world where people kind of want you to conform to that R&B mindset, or they want to put you in a box?
Yeah.
What is that like? How do you find ways to combat that?
It was sort of in the beginning, it was a question. I was like a little uncomfortable because a lot of people, they were really, why don't you play this music, and why are you rocking out, and they really didn't like it. It wasn't even, they didn't even hear the music. They just for some reason wanted me to conform to whatever I guess the masses are doing. So I had to really embrace what I was doing. I really love the stuff that I do, and I have some sort of message music. I like to lift spirits, and that's what we call heart touch. We like to touch hearts, And so I just had to really stick to my guns with reference to what I felt I was chosen to do, And I did, and so and it's just still there.
Yeah.
So,
That kind of like collaborative way of making music, is that how you were introduced to Angelo Moore from Fishbone?
Oh no, actually, I opened up for Fishbone in Hawaii. I used to live in Hawaii too, and I heard about this crazy band and this crazy guy, and my friends were talking. I'm like, who the hell is this? Fishbone. This is my island. I'm the crazy one over here, right? And so we opened up for Fishbone, and I was upstairs watching the Fishbone show. First time I see Fishbone. 1,000 people, mosh pits going.
Yeah.
And Angela was just tearing it up, you know. And there was a drunk girl, and she kept going through the crowd and getting on the stage and stage diving, and all the guys were filling her up and passing her through. And she'd get on stage, and they throw her on the ground, and she'd get back up. And I'm upstairs looking at this girl like, you know. And then like the third time she did it, Angela was up there rocking out. You know, he was rocking, and he looked, and he grabbed her in a headlock, and he was rocking with her, and he looked at her, and he threw her into the audience. I was like, oh my God, I love this guy. That was really cool. And then we hooked up from there. And some years later, I went to CPE at the Fillmore.
Yeah.
And ran into Angela there, and we ended up sitting in the lobby for the whole show talking about music and books, because we're both really similar. We do music and books, you know.
Right.
So we totally missed the whole show. Sat in the lobby for the whole damn show, just talking, you know, and that was it. And then we became really, really close. We're just like blood brothers almost.
Yeah.
It's really, really pretty amazing, you know.
And you guys have a label together?
Yeah, Mapp Records, Angelo Moore, Keno Mapp, Mapp Records. And we started doing that because one day Angelo came back and he was really discouraged. And he was like, you know, I don't think I can ever do music again. I was like, what? You know, how is that possible? You know, he was just discouraged with not having control of his music and everything. So what we did was, you know, I have a big business side. You know, I'm one of those artists that actually does do the business too, you know?
Okay.
So I'm like, what is a way around this? You know, let's start our own thing.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it was a lot harder than I thought. You know, I had to learn a lot. Just putting all of the puzzle pieces together, from distribution with City Hall, and then digital distribution over here, and then licenses and licensing and all of the bells and whistles. So over the last few years, we've really locked it up. So we don't have the Rockefeller money, but we have the information.
Well, I mean, I think that's cool. I definitely appreciate the DIY mindset and just going out and, you know, doing your own thing when people won't let you do your thing, you know?
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, it's based on economics, you know, the music industry. Can I sell this? Can I sell this to as many people as I can sell Usher to, you know? So I always really respect people that take it upon themselves to release art instead of trying to just appeal to what's mass popular, you know? So how has it been operating your label? Is it hard to find acts to get behind, or is there just a wealth of them going right now?
It's a wealth of them. There's so much good music, and with Mapp, we're spread across the board. So we have gospel, we have ambient, we have folk, we have rock, we have jazz, we have kids and family music, you know? So there's a wealth of music out there. It's been, we've been actually focused on artists that really are married to their own music, you know? Because, I mean, I take my music very seriously. Angelo takes his music very seriously. So we believe that the artists that we work with, that's the main ingredient. They have to really be so hungry for their own music, you know, where they're pushing their stuff. And we don't have the manpower. We don't want to do it. I don't want to make somebody's website. You know? I want, just like I want to pound my stuff out, we want artists that just really believe in themselves. And we've been really fortunate enough to work with some artists that are just going after it. They're really going after it. So I'm proud. It's nice. It's really a rewarding thing to be able to help artists release their stuff. You know, and then books too, not just the music. You know, we have the book publishing company too. So my ideal is that, you know, we're in this era of CDs, and that's going away. And you know, so instead of making a little book to go into the CD, make a real book. Program. Put baby pictures in there, and you know, lyrics with, you know, coffee stains on them. Scan it in or something like that. And you have to sort of let the people have a little bit more of you, you know, rather than just that song. So that's what we've been setting out on. And I could say, ending 2011, I feel like it's just now we're at a push button. We can push a button, and it's easy. It's not not so much work involved with releases now.
Yeah. Well, as a performer, you were telling me a little bit earlier that you actually stopped performing for a while.
Yeah.
What was that about? What caused you to stop, and then what consequentially got you back into it?
Oh, absolutely. and it's the business, you know. It was, I was like Mr. 5 days a week in a gym and school. I love languages. I speak French and German, and now I'm studying Japanese.
Awesome.
But I stopped all of that stuff because I had to focus on really locking up the record company, locking up the book publishing company. So when I was younger, I used to try to do 10 things at one time. I found that I ended up having 10 unfinished things. So I said, okay, Keno, one at a time, do it, And so it was a little bit of sacrifice. I had to just really say, Keno, stop.
Yeah.
And but coming back, a lot of friends, they knew I performed, and so I was getting a lot of requests. And I think it got to me. I work with Vaudeville Society as well, with Circus, with Carney, like a bunch of us, and we were doing the Edwardian Ball.
Yeah.
And I was just rigging. I told Michael Gaines, I was like, I don't want to perform. I just want to rig and just help out. I don't care if I'm working the door, if I'm flying somebody in the air. I want to be with my family, but I just want to help.
Yeah.
So we were at the Edwardian Ball, and I'm over here rigging, got my gloves and everything, I'm a little guy, so, I'm a little guy. So this girl came up, and she was totally drunk. She came up to me, and she's like, "You're not a rigger." She was totally pissed off. She's like, "You're not a rigger." I'm like, what did I? She's like, "How come you're not performing?" Blah, blah, blah. And she totally slammed me. And so last year, Burning Man, it was getting too much. And so I have a friend who has a really good heart, Bill B. Tripp. I seen him, and I said, "Bill," I think I'm going to perform now. I said, "I want you to find me some people that have a big heart, that just want to make some good music, man.
Yeah.
And I'll start jamming again." So no big timers. All my friends are all gods in their own way. I said, they don't have to be God, just have a big heart and want to make some good music, So I started jamming again last year. Burning Man was the first one, and so now we're here going to a Great American Music Hall.
Well, do you feel like you are more mature now and you can appreciate that creative effort more?
Yeah, I've always really appreciated. I think now things are a little bit more fire. It's more fun now,
Because it's what you want to do.
Yeah, it's like that little time when I can perform, I don't have to do business and stuff. Like me and Angela say, I could be God for 45 minutes. I'm God. Yeah. So it's really, it's fun. It's fun. It's like, it's really a vacation for me when I get on stage.
Well, what's your biggest inspiration musically? And then what inspires you emotionally to write the songs that you do?
My biggest inspiration is that it's a direct way in which I can sort of try to put out some positive messages on the planet. It's a direct communication to many people, So I really, that's part of my being is I come from hell, So my grandma says when you seen the devil in his eyes, you look at life differently, So I seen the devil in his eyes, and so my choice is to make something very positive and to remind people that they can, do something positive. They can stay lifted regardless of what they go through, because we all go through it,
Yeah.
And everyone has a lot of heavy thoughts, war, different things psychologically in the back of your head. It affects people, you know. So I try to really lift spirits, and with music I have a chance to do that. I'm actually just sharing what I personally feel. Yeah. And I think a lot of people can relate, and it gives them a real good feeling. It makes them feel like, yeah, I can do this,
Yeah.
So that's the big inspiration. Then as far as writing, I write every day, so it's just I'm always writing. I have inspirational poetry book named Senseless Murder. I have a
Okay.
kids book named Winter.
Wow.
In my poem collection, I probably have over 2,000 poems. I probably have over 1,000 songs. So it's something I do on a daily, and it's just feelings that come through the day.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sensitive. I'm a sensitive guy. People think I'm a woman sometimes, but I'm 100% man. I can be sensitive. Men can be sensitive too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's where I come at people.
Yeah.
They, in America especially, there's some stereotypes around being a man.
Yeah.
And I think it's BS, I think it's, I don't have a problem with my spirit. I'm half man, half woman, period.
Yeah.
I got a mama and a daddy, you know? And so I express that on stage, and I show people that they can be normal, who they are. They don't have to have a mask, You don't need the macho mask on as a man,
Was there someone when you were coming up that you saw that showed you that you could be like that and gave you the power to go, okay, I can do this too?
Maybe Prince.
Prince? we were talking about Prince a little bit. You cover a Prince song on your album, right?
Yeah, I have America. I got a license from Universal from Prince.
Awesome.
And we did America and rocked it out,
Nice. Pretty rocking song already.
It's a rocking song, right? And I think a lot of people forgot about that song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love it. So it's actually, that's one of my favorite songs to do in the show. It's just fun. So I got so Prince has influenced me a lot growing up. And I remember being younger, people were like, oh, is he gay? Is he this and that? He had the trench coat and thong and pumps. But I even knew when I was a kid, I was like, he's not gay. And it doesn't matter. Homosexuality, it doesn't matter. I mean, none of anyone's preferences matter, you know? But he was somebody I seen that was being himself or showing his creative side, even if it seemed a little feminine. And it just let people just had to figure it out on their own. And then when he came out with Vanity, I think they were like, oh, he ain't gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to me, that's one of the things about music is that the best musicians, they are the sensitive people that maybe internalize things a little bit more than the average person, and that's how they're able to take it in and then put it back out there in ways that other people can identify with. I really respect Prince for that. Although I hear a lot of weird things about him, but you never actually met him, right?
I never met Prince. It's so crazy because I'm in the purple circle, so to speak. And I mean, I know a lot of people in the circle. Levi, bass, Bobby Z's wife. I know her from Nice, France, when I lived in Nice. And actually, when I moved to Nice, the day I moved to Nice was the day Prince left Nice. He just finished filming Under the Cherry Moon.
Okay.
And this car pulls up, and these chicks get out, and they're like, "Hey, Prince is looking for somebody just like you to be in this movie." I'm like, "What?" So I've always been in this circle, but I've never met him, which is really, really crazy. I look forward to it. I'm sure that time will come. I hope he's cool with me.
Well, you never know what you're gonna get with Prince.
I know. If you're mad at me, like, man. I really would like him to. I would like to know what he thinks about the song America.
Yeah.
I would really love to hear what he thinks. Cause we love it. It's fire.
Yeah.
We rocked it out, but I would love to hear his opinion.
Well, what do you think? What does that song mean to you, America?
Oh gosh, America is. I think the timing, because we've been going through it. We've been really going through it here, and it's a direct way, I guess, like I love the ending where I can say, hey, can everybody put down their bombs? Teacher, can you put down your bomb? And I added a little thing to it. I'm like, Iran, can you put down your bomb? Taliban, can you put down your bomb? Ohio, can you put down your bomb? So has a strong message, not necessarily bomb, but a lot of people have their own frustrations, and I'm sort of trying to say, hey, put it to the side. You can. So yeah, I say.
Well, in this day of music being so commodified, what do you think the important next step is for independent artists like yourself to take control back of the music industry?
I think that they have, right now, there's a lot of ways for people to get their music out there, you know. I think it's sort of hard. A lot of people don't conform to the music that you're hearing on the radio or on TV.
Yeah.
American Idol, great, but that's not everything. And music is something that is so open, like the sky, you know. And I think that we're in an era where society is sort of trying to box it in, and it's stripping away all of the magical points, you know. So I think everyone has to really, you know, don't be scared to jump out of the box. Don't be scared to don't try to conform to what's going down, you know. So I think if they do that, then there's a chance where the underground scene or whatever could come alive again, you know.
And you like lots of different kinds of music. What are some of your favorite genres?
Favorite genres of music? Funk, of course. Rock. I love some Tool.
Oh yeah.
I love some Tool, man. Classical. I love classical. I love opera. I love gospel. I love my reggae. I used to be in a reggae band, but real roots reggae.
Yeah.
You know, not none of the new gangstar stuff.
Yeah.
You know? I love music all the way around. Ambient. I'm a drum and bass head.
Yeah.
You know, when I was living in Berlin, I would go and be in the studio rocking out, and after that, we would always go to BMF, and it was drum and bass.
Yeah.
You know, and then you dance crazy all night. You know. So.
Well, how has such eclectic musical taste influenced your sound? How do you incorporate all those interests and still make it a coherent sound?
I don't know. It sort of comes natural. I have an ear. I don't play an instrument, you know. So, but I have a really sensitive ear. So, I've been in many a debate with some of the best musicians in the world, and they're like, "No, this is the tempo," and I'm like, "It's too fast. I don't care how many drums you play. It's too fast." And then 3 months later, they're like, "Oh shit, it was too fast." You know. So I have this really sensitive ear. So. When I'm making music, I'll say 5 of my friends. Someone plays the guitar, someone plays the harp, someone plays the organ. You know, I'll just sort of pick those different instruments, and I know the people, and then I'll marry them up. You know. So like this last, we just did some new recordings, and you know, we're really excited about. And so I got Victoria Theodore. She plays piano for Stevie Wonder. Right. So I got her to play some keys. And then I have my buddy Jay in Hawaii. He plays organ. So he's all the way in Hawaii. She's all the way here. But I know their styles. So I'm like, hey, Vicky, you drop some keys here. I'm like, Jay, you drop some organ. And it's in my Dropbox now. I didn't even hear it. But I know it's just going to marry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's a little bit of like a hip-hop producer as well. Just bringing together these separate elements into a new creation.
Exactly. It's sort of crazy because, like, even on the album, like Uriah, Duffy's bass, he recorded from the road. He was on the road with Whitesnake. But I know his style, and I'm like, oh, Uriah, just drop. You know, drop what you feel. Yeah. You know, and perfect. It just mashes. Because I don't believe in telling artists what to play. Yeah. You know, I'll give them my little melody, my little thing, but then I want them to have bring their flavor to it. You know, so I let them fly, you know.
So you said you've been working on some new recordings. Do you have a new album in the works?
I don't know if I have the guts to do a new album right now.
Oh, really?
That's having a child, you know. Making an album's no joke. That's a 2-year project. So I decided to just to drop a couple of songs. I just did 3 songs. But of course it's going to turn into an album. I see what's happening already. But all of my songs is really very sort of lifting and very heart, very love, very positive. And so I decided to do a dark song about the darker side of the heart. You know, the breakups, when your heart gets touched too much.
Okay.
So we did a rock song. It's called When I Get Drunk, I Look for a Gas Pedal.
Okay.
It is dirty rock and roll, man. It is just smoking dirty rock. And it's hot, but it's really about when your heart gets touched too much. You know, you just lose your mind for a second. So it's fun. It's therapy. Yeah, total therapy.
So, and your most recent album is this Heart Sounds record here?
Heart Touch.
Heart Touch, sorry
Heart
about
Touch.
that.
Pow.
And when did you do that one?
Oh, I did this like 3 years ago. I don't even remember. It seemed like forever.
Yeah.
You know? But the funny part about it is I did it and I didn't even promote it really. So I sort of slacked on that and just got too engulfed with the record company and all of that. Yeah, it's slamming. It's totally,
What are you focusing on when you're playing? Are you focusing on a connection with the audience? Are you focusing on reproducing the songs? What's the most important thing to you?
I have sort of a weird thing when I perform. I sort of go out of body a little bit.
Huh.
So we have a thing, I used to have a violinist inside of the group. And so what I would do is I would let a little door open up and I would sort of just be channeled.
Okay.
So because we rehearse, I know all the songs,
Yeah.
you know. I forget the words in rehearsal, but I never forget them on stage. So I'll let myself be channeled and let the universe really flow through me,
Yeah.
you know. But when we had the violinist, we had a little code. He would poke me with his bow if I was going too long, you know, like give me a little poke, like Keno, you know, wake up, hello, you know. But I really will. There's a part of the show where, you know, I'll do a lot of some spoken words and poetry, and but it'll be on the fly.
Uh-huh.
We have our rehearsed stuff, but then I'll open that little window and I'll let whatever comes out.
Huh.
And it's a real direct communication with the audience. You know, it's definitely something to touch their heart. It's something I talk to each individual in the room. You know. So yeah, so it's of course the music, you know, I want my own music high, you know, but it's a sharing thing too, so people will be there and they get a little music high too, you know.
Well, what you said is interesting, and I've interviewed a few artists that talk about how they feel like the music, they're not necessarily writing it themselves, they're tuning into something that is being conveyed through them. Do you feel that way?
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. I'm just a messenger.
Can you explain that a little bit?
It's almost spiritual at some point because I know when to open the door. I know how to let my door open up and it be channeled and let stuff flow through me. I've been doing it for so long. Like when I was saying about Berlin and everything.
Yeah.
Then now I know how to do it. I know when to open that door up. So it's almost a meditative state, you know. Yeah, I'm not really there. I'm not someone trying to look cute or trying to prove something.
Yeah.
I'm just there. I'm just a messenger. So when that time comes, it's like I'm just sharing whatever's coming through me, and it's something that someone in the audience should hear what I have to say. They need what I have to say, you know. So I feel like that, yeah, just a messenger. It's sort of a weird thing, sort of scary at times too.
Yeah.
You know, one time we came out of the studio and a good friend, I used to do reggae music with Tony Gittz. He's an amazing artist, you know, I love his music. And we came out of the studio and he's like, Keno, you're weird, man. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, blood clot, man. He said, you're making 8 songs in one night and you know, it's like, it's not normal. I was like, what do you mean it's not normal? I'm like, man, you have the awesome music. I'm like, he said, yeah. He said, but do you know how long it take me to make one song? It take me 1 year to make one song. He said, you make one song in 1 minute. And so I never knew, you know, but he had to explain to me that that's not normal. People don't do that. I thought everybody did that.
Huh. Well, do you think everybody has the potential to do that, or do you think you have to cultivate it?
You know, I think they have the potential. I think that if you think about it too much, you can't get on that wave.
Okay.
So I don't think about it. Like when I write from beginning to end. I don't write a sentence and think, oh, what's the next sentence should sound like, or should it rhyme with this, or I don't think like that. I just open that window and it goes, you know. It all flows right out. Like it's so, like calligraphy. I love you know, language and stuff. So I do my Japanese and my calligraphy. And there's some strokes that you do. You don't, you know, wobble. You just you let it flow, you know. So I think I let it flow. You know.
Awesome.
If I thought about it too much, man, I'll start seeing people and I'll get all nervous and the words I'll start misspelling.
Yeah.
I'll start misspelling words.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you coming down and talking to me and giving us your time to do this interview, and of course for your upcoming show at the music hall.
Yeah.
It was great talking to you, man.
That's so cool.
Right.
Thank you. Here, this is for you. Heart touch.
Thanks
Enjoy.
a lot, man. Cheers.
Rock it out. Turn it all the way up. And
all right. Keno Mapp, man.
Thank you very much.
Looking forward to
see you at the show, people. Bring your heart with you.